Number 28. I was just talking. I don't know. Number 28. I was just talking to somebody that's a member of a band. What they thought it was fair for them to get paid by the federal government to be a entertainer at like a church gatherings, to entertain people that went to church gatherings. And we sort of talked. We didn't talk. I talked to his wife, and he was in the background, and I threw out some numbers, and we finally come up with $800 an hour paid by the federal government for like maybe 4 or 5 hours to get up there and entertain people, to pay for his equipment and whatnot, to entertain, and where the church would get paid 40% of this $800 an hour to put him on, and he'd get paid 60% of the $800 an hour to be there. And I guess he's also a worship pastor to church. And I asked him what he thought that was worth, and so we come up with $400 an hour, to be at the church. And I asked what other things are. Maybe a children's pastor would be $300 an hour to church. So we were just talking, and we were trying to figure out what church you should get. And that's just some of the stuff we come up with, but we really couldn't come up with other things. That's just a couple of things we come up with, what they should get paid. But basically, I asked him what he thought he should get paid as an entertainer, and it was $800 an hour to go to the different church, or just as an entertainer, to entertain maybe at bars or around. The federal government would pay you to go to places, $800, and it's $800 an hour. The $800 was like a church where you pay the church to put you on. I don't know whether you'd pay a bar the 40% to have you, or if your manager would get 40%. Maybe if you're just working on your own, you might get the straight $800 to be an entertainer, and the 40% would go to pay for your equipment. But we figured $800 an hour is a pretty good figure to be a member of a band while you're up on stage. It wouldn't be some $800 a week. It'd be $800 an hour while you're on stage for 4, 5, 6 hours a night while you're up on stage. So and the other was why he was a worship pastor, or I think that's what it was. Why he's at church and like that. But anyways, thank you, bye.